Arch is here. He's ready for questions. Let's start here in the front row.
We have to lean over for this.
Arch, obviously your first time at SEC Media Days. There's a lot of hype around you as a quarterback, but what do people maybe not know about you?
I feel like I'm a pretty normal guy. I like to hang out with my buddies, play golf. I take football pretty seriously, but other than that, just a regular guy.
We'll go over to the left side, third row.
Hey, Arch. AP Stedham of AP as we see it. Arch, what are some of the things you like to improve upon from your last season, and what can you say about your receivers in this offense?
Yeah, our receivers are really good, really fast. We got a bunch of young ones, but having Wingo and Demo back will be good, and I'm really just trying to improve as a leader this offseason.
Right side, second row, then pass it forward.
Alex Byington on three. Arch, you just kind of touched on it, but that becoming more of a leader, your teammates have said how active a role you took. What was the impetus of that to try to kind of establish yourself this offseason?
Yeah, I think as much as it wasn't always easy. Those 2 years, I kind of feel like I got a lot of respect from the team, and now being more of a vocal leader, they know that it's coming from a place of love, and when I get on someone, they know I'm not just being a turd.
Middle section, fifth row.
Trevor Denton with Way 31. Arch, just with all the media attention that you've gotten this offseason, your entire career, and then today, all the scrums around you, has any of this started to feel almost normal at this point?
I don't know. Maybe so. I think I've had a lot of role models to look up to and how they deal with the media. I think Quinn did a really good job handling the media. But I'm here to play ball, and this is very much so secondary.
Right side.
Travis Tindall, ESPN, Austin. Who's more competitive, yourself or Michael Taaffe?
That's pretty close.
And who talks more
He's
trash?
like annoying competitive though. Like it's like the little he'll like pick up a piece of trash, but I picked up trash. I'm like, okay, no, but he's good. He picked me off last week in 2-minute drill, which was annoying. But we were both pretty competitive. It gets competitive on the golf course too.
Who talks more trash?
Probably him. But yeah, probably him.
Middle section, fourth row.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and College Station. Going back to being part of the renewal of the Lone Star Showdown, you get to come in and experience that, scoring a touchdown. Just what do you remember from that game, and how much are you looking forward to it being in Austin this year?
Yeah, it was a privilege to have that rivalry back, and I'm glad I got to impact the game a little bit. They're a really good team, and that was a big time atmosphere. And I'm looking forward to that game. I got to spend some time with Marcel at MPA. He's a really good guy and a good player. So we're fired up to play them again.
Right side.
Hey, Arch. Alex Miller with the Bryan College Station Eagle. Kind of picking back off Tyler's question. Big touchdown in a key situation in that game. How did moments of success like that maybe help prepare you stepping into the role you'll have this season?
Yeah, anytime you can get reps in the game and make an impact to help your team win, it definitely builds your confidence for the following year. And I think I'm going to try and build on that.
Front row, and then pass it to your right.
Arch, Caleb Saylor, Super Talk Mississippi here. You talked about your role models. Yesterday, your grandfather's jersey was displayed as part of the Ole Miss Shrine and with your family name. You're about to have your chance to shine and show and create your own legacy. Well, what's that look like for you?
Yeah, it was cool seeing that. I think I came here maybe when it was just opening with my grandfather to watch the Ole Miss Boise State game in opening week. But it's been cool looking up to him and my uncles and my dad. And I've always wanted to play in the SEC, so it's been a blessing.
Front row.
Arch, Ben Garrett, Rebel Grove on three. I'm curious, your dad's Ole Miss Rebel, Archie's, jersey's here, Uncle Eli. I know you're a Texas Longhorn at quarterback. What's the relationship? You grew up with it. What's your relationship with Ole Miss now?
It's a little bit different now. I guess I grew up going to games. We had a place in Oxford, and I'd spend a lot of the summer there and go to at least a game a year. Now, I guess not as much, but they got a really good coach and a really good team. I spent some time with Austin a few weeks ago. He's a really good guy. He's got a hell of an arm, so they're in for a good year.
Second row, right side.
Arch, your uncles are notorious for having a really strong self-deprecating humor. You've shown flashes of that. What's a Thanksgiving dinner like around the Manning, family household? It's just everybody ripping on each other, or what's that like?
Well, I think we play A&M the day after Thanksgiving, so it won't be much this year. We'll probably be with the team. But growing up, it was fun. Watching football, it's pretty much like every other family. Watch football, eat a lot, maybe go outside, wrestle. I don't know. It was pretty basic. Nothing special.
Hey, Arch. Jacques Doucet, WAFB TV in Baton Rouge. Obviously, your family name is big everywhere, but in Louisiana, it's very big. You're playing for Texas now, but do you feel like you're also representing Louisiana? What does Louisiana mean to you moving forward, even though you're playing in the state of Texas?
Yeah, I try to bring as much New Orleans style to Texas. I learned a lot growing up in New Orleans. Been around a lot of good players. We have some other guys from the state of Louisiana with me at Texas, so it's been fun. And going back every year to Thibodeau, just the New Orleans culture and Louisiana culture is second to none. So it's always fun going back.
We'll go here in the middle, fourth row.
Gavin Baxley, ESPN, the ticket out of Montgomery. Arch, obviously you played a lot with Quinn Ewers last year. Now that you'll be the starter, has he given you any advice? What have you taken away from Quinn?
Yeah, I learned so much from Quinn in my 2 years behind him. I think he handled it like a pro. It's definitely not easy having me as the backup with all the media, but he's always been nice to me and good to me, and I'm forever grateful for him. And I actually texted him the other week for advice on 2 minute, what kind of plays he liked to start with.
Go in the back row in the middle.
Hey, Arch. Kyle Wood, Athlon Sports. You said you've always wanted to play in the SEC. How has Texas been able to transition so well successfully in the SEC in 2 years, or in first year?
I think that's a credit to Coach Stark and the way he's recruited and built the program. We got a bunch of good players and follow his lead, and so this is a big-time conference, and it's tough each week, but I think we've done a pretty good job, and I'm hoping to carry that forward.
Do you think your mobility caught anybody by surprise last year? You can really move.
Yeah, my dad was pretty fast, and my mom was fast too. I think she's competitive, so I try to mix it up a little bit when I can.
Go here in the front row.
Hey, Arch, Chip Brown with Horns 24/7 and Texas Sports Unfiltered. What's the hardest thing you've had to deal with, in your time at Texas and this offseason?
Yeah, I think I would say probably from going, I played, this is not really a big deal, but I played every year in high school. It was 2A high school football, so that doesn't mean anything, but from sitting out and not playing, that was pretty tough. But I think more so now, just dealing with the media and stuff, like I don't really care about all that. So I'm just here to play football, and that's kind of what I want my focus to be.
Right side, third row. Right there on the end.
Chessa Boucher with NBC 33 in Baton Rouge. You and Garrett Nussmeier seem to have a pretty good relationship. How has it been? I mean, he's had 1 year as a starter under his belt. Have y'all had those kind of conversations, or you try to keep it away from ball?
Yeah, no, Nuss was my roommate at that camp. I asked him probably 200 questions. I had no idea he was going to propose a week later, but I'm excited for him. He's going to have a good year. They got a good squad over there.
Final question here on the front row.
Michael Bronner, WNSP in Mobile. You talked about how hard it was not to play those first couple of years. Obviously, we're in a different era of college sports where it's a super common thing to, okay, if I'm not playing right away, I'm just going to go find somewhere I can play. Did that idea ever creep in? I have no doubt that you had offers to do that, but was there ever any sort of consideration to do something like that?
Yeah, no, that never really crossed my mind. I knew Texas was the place I wanted to be. It was the city I wanted to be in with a great education, and I had friends there, and I was still developing and growing as a football player and as a person, so I never really wanted to leave. If there was somewhere else I wanted to be, I would have gone.
Arch, thanks very much for your time.
Thank y'all.
Maybe we see you next year. We want to welcome Michael up here to the podium, our second Texas Longhorn. We'll start over here with questions on the left side of the room.
Good afternoon, Michael.
Good afternoon.
AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Michael, what's the biggest challenge for the Texas secondary this year, and what are the differences you noticed between the two leagues?
Yeah, great question. The first answer, how are we going to handle success? So we obviously had a lot of success We had the Thorpe Award winner in our back end. We had a second-round draft pick in our back end. Then we had a couple guys returning. So how are we going to handle success? And are we going to be complacent with that success, or are we going to raise the bar and raise the standard? And what I'm always trying to do is I'm trying to raise the standard and understand that there's a bar, and we got to reset that every single year to keep chasing greatness. Because at the end of the day, if you want your name to be remembered, you got to keep going and keep doing more. And remind me your second question. Oh, the leagues. The second question is, it's different, right? It's a lot different. There's different speeds, there's different atmospheres, there's different weather. But I know in the SEC, what I can tell you about the SEC is you have to be physically prepared every single game. Your body has to be prepared every single game, and there's no game where you can take it lightly.
Right side, fourth row.
Alex Byington on 3. Michael, Stark has said a few times this offseason how Arch has taken on more leadership responsibilities, kind of taking that role by the horns, so to speak.
Yeah.
Just how have you seen that, and is there an example where you came away maybe impressed of where he's making those strides?
Yeah, Arch is obviously one of my best friends. I was his host when he was a recruit here on his OV, and ever since then we hit it off. And I think the one thing that I respected about him is he would look like an average Joe if you were walking across the halls, besides that he looks exactly like his uncles and his granddad. But he's just such a down-to-earth guy. And how he leads is he gets respect of the locker room. And it's not always the rah-rah guy. You can be a leader so many different ways, but how he leads is he makes a personal relationship with every guy in the locker room and tries to get respect from them. So that's leading by example. That's leading with intention by, sitting with different people at lunch. That's going out of his way to show people, hey, it's nice and it's good to go thank people for holding the doors, or thank people for cleaning up our locker room. And so he leads by example, and he tries to set a standard for the guys, which is really cool.
What's the most common question you get about him? I'm sure you get a ton of them.
That is a great question. The most common question I get about Arch is, oh man, that's a good question. It's usually more generic. It's like, how's Arch looking? Is Arch the real deal? That's probably the biggest question I get about, is Arch Manning the real deal? And my answer always to that is, just let his film do all the talking.
Left side on the end.
Michael, what's the most complicated pass offense you played against within those two conferences and then through your career, because you were in the playoffs last year against the eventual national champion, Ohio State?
Yeah, every offense that I've gone against has given me some type of trouble, has given me some type of misdirection, some type of scheme. And I think that's a respect to our defense, because they do stuff on film that's different than what they've seen, what they've shown, right? And so I think that's a respect to our defense, because we give them something that they've clearly never seen. But probably the hardest, offense that I've gone against is Washington. When Michael Penix was there, Roma Dunze was there, Joan Polk was there. There was guys, Kellen DeBoer, Coach DeBoer was the head coach there. And so that was probably the game that was toughest for me.
Right side, third row.
Alex Miller with the Bryan College Station Eagle. What did playing in the A&M Texas game mean for you last year, and where did that interception you had in that game maybe rank among your favorite football moments?
Top moment of my life, hands down. I was telling one of my friends the other month, I was like, I think that was the coolest moment of my life. So it's up there for moments of life. But I think it's so important to know that we had 13 years of no Texas versus Texas A&M rivalry. And then all of a sudden we get it back, and it's in College Station, it's at Kyle Field, and people argue that that's the best atmosphere in all of college football. And to believe that it wasn't rocking, you'd be a fool, because that place was, I saw 5 fields when they were running out of the tunnel. It was shaking, it was loud, it was crazy. And it's so good for the great state of Texas. It's so good for college football because in Austin, there's no pro team. So we are the pro team. The Texas Longhorns are the professional team. And in College Station, obviously the same. And so it's like a rich tradition of just, Texas fans that are going back and forth. And it's so fun for us as competitors.
Fourth row, the middle.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station, kind of piggybacking off that. You said it was the best, moment of your life. How much are you looking forward to this year, that game, being in Austin?
Yeah, for sure, because I know that they got a taste of being able to, scream for their fans. So the proud and few, the brave Longhorns that went to that stadium, I don't know how they did it, but I'm happy for them that they get to get a sea of burnt orange this next time that we go around. And it's such a fun game. It brings out so much competitive nature out of you. It brings out so much rich tradition and history and rivalry. And that's what college football is all about, is those rivalry games like Texas versus Texas A&M. And Marcel Reed, heck of a player. The guys that they've got on offense, heck of players. So I'm excited.
And then do you mind explaining a little bit about your tie? And just
Yeah, for sure. So my tie, the Texas floods happened this past week, and Camp Mystic is a girls' church camp that was impacted pretty seriously. And so all these initials are all the victims at Camp Mystic that lost their lives in the tragic flooding this past weekend. So it's all the daughters, the 8-year-old girls that passed away in the cabins, and then their 2 counselors who gave their lives being heroes trying to save those daughters and those girls, and then the campus or the camp director who went back into the floods to try to save those girls' lives. So I wanted to remember those victims because they deserve a light like this. What they did, they should be heroes. They should be remembered.
Right side, fourth row.
This is going to be a difficult transition. But you mentioned your relationship with Arch, and a lot has been made about your friendship with Cade, growing up and things like it in high school and stuff.
Yeah.
So those are 2 of the top Heisman favorites going into the season. I'm not asking you to make a pick if you had a vote, but what do you make about their cases for that award this year? What are they going to have to do to maybe put one over on top of the other?
Yeah, well, obviously this quarterback class is so talented this year. All the quarterbacks in the SEC are really talented alone, but bringing in guys like Cade Klubnik, it makes this roster, this class of quarterbacks so unique, so competitive, a lot of juice. But the similarities that Arch and Cade have is they know how to take over a team. And they know that the team embodies their personality. And so both of them walk on the field, and it's like, all right, it's game time every single time they step on the field. And that's why I respect, both of those guys, because they have that sense of competitiveness that it's like, all right, nobody can stop me. It's really inspiring.
Left side, third row.
Michael, you played against Ohio State last year and Jeremiah Smith. What were your impressions of him, and how does he rank maybe in the athletes you've competed against?
I can't even rank him yet because I got to play him again. But what he does on that football field, it doesn't seem like a real human's doing that, because he's just so unique. He's inspirational and all the talent, and he's still only 19 years old. And so it's going to be really fun going against him because he's a freak of nature. I've watched a lot of his routes, almost all of them, dang near from last year, and seeing how he gets in and out of breaks, seeing how he runs full speed, seeing how he stacks DBs, and then obviously the best thing about him and one of his attributes is going up and getting the football. So you can put 3 DBs on him, but if you give it up in the air, he's going to go get it, which is really, really cool.
Final question over here on the right.
Ask Anthony this, but when did you know Colin Simmons was going to be special, and what is one eye-popping moment for you? You're just kind of like, wow.
The second that he stepped on campus, I knew Colin Simmons was going to be a guy. He's one of those guys where coming in that he's a 3-year and out first-round type of guy, and I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but I know that's his expectation for himself. One of the plays was, he wears this long towel in practice. It's one of like a shower towel. And I'm like, oh, what is this guy doing? And all of a sudden runs up with the ones already, one of the first weeks he's out here, and said, "Hut." A second later, he's getting back to the quarterback, and he's giving our left and right tackles, a heck of a day. So it's definitely easier to play DB playing man coverage when you got him going after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Say what? I don't know. It just shocked my eye. I was like, is it that sweaty outside right now? Like, why is he wearing that towel? But then I watched him, and he got after the quarterback. So I was like, you can do whatever you want as long as you're getting to the quarterback like that.
Michael, terrific job. Thank you.
Thank y'all. God bless.
Okay, we welcome Anthony to our podium here. He's ready for your questions. We'll start over on the left side.
Here, Anthony. Good afternoon, Anthony. AP Stedham of AP as we see it.
Yeah.
Anthony, what is the most complicated offense you've played against? Not the best skilled players, but the most complicated offense.
Like in the SEC or just by far my time in?
Both. Do both.
I feel like the most complicated offense I played was Kansas my freshman year. They had ran a lot of like the triple option stuff, and it was pretty difficult. Then, other than that, I would have to say the let me think about this. I would have to say that Georgia offense, they did a good mix of running and passing the ball with complex concepts, and it was a really fun game to play, and I'm looking forward to playing them next year.
Right side, second row.
Alex Byington on 3. Anthony, what makes Colin Simmons so unique, special, and was there a moment you kind of knew he was a guy that could make an impact early?
Yeah, from the first day of the spring ball when he came in, I knew something was going to be different about him. Just the way he can get off the football and do different stuff, the way he can bend and all that, I knew he was going to be special from one of the first couple of practices. So it's an honor to play with him, and he's going to have a great year this year.
We'll go on the left side, third row.
Anthony, Tyler Shaw with KBTX and College Station. What do you remember from the Texas A&M game last year, and how much are you looking forward to that rivalry at home in Austin now?
I remember as a crowd. Like the crowd was kind of crazy. It was a fun game to play for the crowd and the media. And then I remember the quarterback making some elite runs and stepping up in the pocket and making a couple good throws. So that's definitely something I know he's going to improve on going into another year. So I'm looking forward to seeing them and Ruben Owens out there. Man, I can't wait to compete against him this year. It's going to be a fun game.
On the aisle here in the middle.
Yeah, Anthony, Alex Miller with the Bryan College Station Eagle. Tyler kind of stole my question, but looking back on the A&M Texas game, how is that rivalry different than the OU Texas rivalry as you've been able to play in both now?
It's a little different since we're not playing at a neutral site, of course, but it's really fun, like, just playing against that team. We have a lot of familiar faces. I know a lot of them guys on this team. I was committed with some of them, so it's really fun playing against some of them, and I can't wait to play them again this year.
We'll go in the back on the right.
Anthony Carson Field Sooners on SI. It kind of comes with the name Manning having such high expectations placed on you, but just from practicing against him, what have you seen that makes you think that he's going to be a star player at the college level?
Just the way he reads the defense, he reads it really well. He also has the ability to take off and run and change the play calls. He's done that a lot of time against us, so I feel like he's going to have a really good season, and he deserves to have the season that he rightfully deserves. So.
Left side, row 3.
You said you had, you're looking forward to, Georgia again.
Yeah.
Playing them twice. They got the better of you both times. Just what'd you learn from each of those games, and then how much are you again looking forward to playing them, and then the possibility of another SEC title game?
I mean, it's fun. I feel like they have a really good football team, and we want to play against the best teams in the world. So going against them is a great test for us throughout the season, and playing them in a regular season is going to be a really good game. And we know we have to play them at their house, so we're looking forward for that test. And I know it's going to be a really tough game for us, but we're ready.
Middle, fourth row.
Anthony, there's a lot of hype, of course, around Arch Manning this week. What do you kind of make of the outside expectations, and how do you think he does at handling those expectations?
I feel like he does a really good job kind of handling some of the hype around him. He doesn't really have a social media or do any of that stuff, so I know he's going to be ready to play. I've been practicing against him for the last 3 to 4 years, so I know he's going to be ready to go and ready to play when the moments and the lights are on.
Right side, second row.
Sark, earlier this offseason, Sark has been on TV and discussed how active a role Arch took in the leadership. So obviously, as a backup, there's only so much you can do. But what's the difference you've seen from him this offseason in that regard versus maybe obviously his first 2 offseasons?
You can see his competitive nature pop out a little bit more in the workouts and some of that. So he's coming in with a energy to lead and be a leader, and he's calling the plays like he's been back there leading the show for the last 3 years. So you can tell he took the right steps towards being a leader and learning from Quinn throughout this time of him being a backup. Just in summer workouts, we were kind of struggling with doing our Longhorn shuttles. He kind of brought the group up and gave us some motivation, pumped us up, and we went out there and kind of finished the job and executed.
Left side, third row.
Anthony, you had a defense that helped the team reach the playoffs last year. So if you can complete this sentence, the Texas defense will help reach the college football playoffs if.
Say that one more time, please.
The Texas defense will reach the college football playoffs this year if.
If we go out there and communicate, execute like the level we've been doing and even exceed it a little bit more, I feel like we have to communicate better than we did throughout the years, and we have to execute in some of the big moments like we haven't last year.
We'll stay on the left side, third row.
You guys talk about kind of expectations surrounding this team. Obviously, a lot of noise on the outside, but internally, what do you guys kind of focus on at this point, knowing you want to get back to where you were and better?
Yeah, we kind of just focus on just keeping everything day by day. We going through the summer workouts right now, so we're just going to focus on that. When we get to fall camp, we're going to focus on that. Then when we get to season prep, we're going to kind of focus on that. So we want to just take everything day by day and figure out things as they go. But we want to execute and do our job.
Going to go in the middle on the third row.
I know you're on the defense, but when Arch came in some of those situational moments, like when he scored the touchdown against A&M, how did him having success in those moments maybe prepare him to step into this starting role now?
Getting a little bit of action, of course, kind of gets you ready for the game, but it's nothing like being back there for every single play. So I feel like some of them games where Quinn was kind of hurt and he played every single moment kind of got him ready, got him a little taste for playing some of the bigger games.
Does the SEC feel like home, or is it still kind of a new home for Texas?
The SEC, I wouldn't say it feels like home. This is just our second season, but we're going to go out there and just play our best and execute. We know we have some tough away games and home games this year, so we're just going to go out there and kind of just try to execute, do our job.
Right side, second row.
Obviously, given his last name and the notoriety of being a #1 recruit and all that, what's something about Arch that most people probably don't know that's kind of something that only really his teammates, coaches, maybe his family understands about him?
I feel like a lot of people don't know how fast he is. Like when he gets out the pocket, a lot of people aren't going to catch him. He really can run. He really could go.
We'll go in here in the middle, in the fourth row.
As a player, how do you sort of view momentum game to game, week to week? Last season ended how it did, but how do you kind of carry over the positive momentum that you guys had at points last season into a new year?
Yeah, like it's our job as leaders to kind of carry the momentum and kind of push some of the younger guys and make sure they have the confidence to go out there and go play when they have to go step up in the moment. So we kind of just want to take the young guys, get them in the film room to make sure they have the momentum and the confidence to be able to go play.
We have any final questions? We'll go here on the right side.
Travis Tyndall, ESPN Austin. Anthony, can you tell me your feelings and the team's feelings on being able to face Ohio State after just playing them their last game?
I mean, it was a tough loss, but that was last season. We have a whole new team, so we just want to go out there and be 1-0 next year, and that's all we're going to focus on, just being 1-0, and then we're going to handle everything else when the time comes.
Anything else? Thank you very much. Stay healthy and good luck.
Thank you.